On May 21, 1976, Philippine Airlines Flight 116, registration RP-1161, piloted by Captain Jovit Lagaso, was en route between Davao City and Manila in the Philippines, carrying a crew of 5 and 82 passengers, which were all Filipino citizens. The hijacking began when the 6 men, armed with grenades, seized the plane mid-flight and was ordered by the hijackers to redirect its course to Zamboanga, about 639 kilometers away from its intended route in Davao. As soon as the plane successfully landed on the tarmac of Zamboanga Airport, the hijackers quickly demanded a ransom of $375, equivalent to today's value of $1 million. They also demanded the plane to safely fly them to Libya, a country located in North Africa. The Philippine government, not intent on entertaining the armed men, refused to meet their demands and said that the men had turned down offers of agreement. As the passengers await their fate on that day, the plane was surrounded by troops, and the tires of the plane were shot out, preventing the plane from taxiing and taking off. The AFP contingent designated to deal with the terrorist act was composed of Philippine Air Force soldiers from the Aviation Security Command, or AVSECOM, and from the Philippine Constabulary Light Reaction Unit. Armored Vehicles was also augmented in the units with 1 Thyssen Henschel UR-416, 2 V-150 Commandos, and a single M113A1 armored personnel carrier. The unit was led by General Mariano E. Castañeda, Jr. After days of fruitful negotiations, there was a glimmer of hope as the government forces were able to talk it out with the hijackers, for which it resulted to the release of 17 passengers. On the 23rd of May, roughly 3 days since the start of the hijacking, minutes after 12 o'clock had struck, the armored vehicles used to block the runway was moved up against the cockpit and on the other vital areas outside the plane. The situation would then turn up to its boiling point, with the V-150 Commando ramming the BAC 111 and eventually setting off of some of the grenades, both inside and outside, by the terrorists. This was followed by an intense gunfight which resulted to the deaths of 3 of the 6 hijackers. In the explosion, 10 hostages were instantly killed, while the remaining 54 hostages escaped through the emergency exits. But 22 hostages were wounded. According to one of the hijackers that were captured, the 6 hijackers aboard the BAC-111 intended to copy the success of a previous hijacking just 6 weeks ago. As a result, the 3 surviving hijackers that were captured on site was eventually sentenced to death by a shooting squad.